My name is Khalida Popal, and I am a former captain and one of the founding member of the first Afghanistan women's national team. I don't know how much you know about Afghanistan. It's in Asia and the heart of Asia. That's where my country is. We started playing football because of the passion, like everybody has. That's why they enter in this beautiful game. That was also the case for me, growing up in Afghanistan, playing with the boys in a country that's where women and girls nearly have no right. But football was a window for freedom and the joy for me. But when I was told I should not play football with the boys, that's why I started turning my passion to purpose and started the movement through football for women and girls in Afghanistan. And campaigned and recruited so many girls and women to play football. With the help of my mum, who was my PE teacher. And as a result, we made history. We had our first women's national team, we had our first league, we represented our country. We were never best players, never with good skills, but you know what? That was the passion that brought us together to stay united, to be the voice for our sisters who are facing domestic violence in the country, who didn't have their right and didn't have the freedom that we had through sisterhood that football created for us. We campaigned, and my tool for activism was football and my love for the game, and that's how I started campaigning and advocating for women's rights as a human right in Afghanistan. But because of my life was in a great danger and I could not continue living in my country, I had to leave my country and the people that I love so much, and went on exile, lived as a refugee in different countries, continued playing football. Now I'm old and broken, but I played football also in Denmark, and that's where my base is. I lived in refugee centers as a refugee, lived underground to survive. Unfortunately, because of the ACL and all the L's, MCL, ACL, and so many surgeries, which last week I had my fourth surgery in this knee. Still recovering, but that was like a way to exit from football, from playing football, but more into advocacy. So what I'm doing right now in Denmark, I have my own organizations by the name of Girl Power, established in Denmark. We are using, again, the power of sports and education, leadership education, for empowering women and girls, especially from marginalized communities, to come to football and trying to build a bridge between community and structured football organizations to get the women into football, where we have more representations like Nadia Nadim, like so many other amazing refugees and migrants that can find a way to enjoy the beautiful game that belongs to everybody. So the organization is having activities in Denmark, in Germany, in the UK, in Greece, and so many countries around the world, like Mexico, back in Afghanistan, Pakistan. We are creating opportunities through the organization. And very recently, unfortunately, Afghanistan once again collapsed in the hands of terrorist group, which they announced the first thing, that women and girls are banned from going to school and playing sport. They cannot play football anymore. Our national team, who are young girls like you, passionate to play football, continue playing football. Unfortunately, we had to find a way to evacuate them because their life was in danger 3 years ago when the country collapsed. And again, through activism, we try to get as many people as possible on board to run a campaign to advocate for their life and evacuate them from Afghanistan. And today we have managed to evacuate 600 girls and women who are from football and their families outside Afghanistan. The senior women's national team is evacuated and is placed in Melbourne, Australia, where they are playing under Melbourne Victory. I don't know if you know the club. So that's our campaign. So many athletes and footballers from around the world joined us, supported us, many clubs and organizations. We are hoping, we have not lost the hope, but football has told us and taught us how to stand for each other, how to take responsibility, and how to use our power, the passion, the purpose, and how it becomes our power to do something different. I'm really enjoying the environment, the club. It's loving the history of the club and how pioneer the club is when it comes to the women's football in general. One of the youngest club and one of the clubs that is like having both teams from the first and second team in a professional contracts a long time ago before many other clubs. It's a great reference to women's football. And the fact that there is also about like off the pitch, all the activities, how the foundation and like they're trying their best to kind of provide football literacy and reading and the club is doing so much and how purpose-driven is the club. Fantastic. I love everything about the club that so far I have known and the facilities that the whole philosophy and facilities that has provided to promote equal treatment, equity and inclusion, and equal treatment for men and women. It's fantastic and I love it. It's fantastic to see the club is really using the power of football to take responsibility to give back to the community, and how in women's football here is one of the examples of like trying to close the gender gap, right? Providing the equal treatment for women as they are doing for men's team, supporting the team and providing the equal opportunity and great facilities in respecting the women's team beyond the pitch. That's fantastic and to see, and also the club is taking the initiative to give back to the community with the different examples and projects that are really the club is taking initiative. I grew up in a male-dominated country by the name of Afghanistan, where women are living and still living under oppression, where women are lacking the equal right and human right. It's such a privilege and honor to be here to see you all, and I have heard a little bit about the history of the club, and I know that you are youngest team and it's fantastic. It's the hope and for the women's football in all over the world, because no matter how far we are from each other, our stories, but the little differences, little steps that we take, it's making a big, huge difference in women's football globally. So thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Thanks a lot.